All right, I am super excited about getting this new book. It is The Long Way Home by Ryan Van Duzer. And today we're going to be opening this book up and also looking at a few other books that I probably read every year. In fact, one of these books I've carried along in almost every adventure I've had for the past 30 years. The last two we'll talk about, actually the book is great, but the audio book is 10 times better. So let's get into this. All right, I got the package open, got the book out, and I am one of the lucky 400 people to get a signed copy. Now, in some extent, I would have liked to not get a signed copy, so I'd have to go up to Boulder, enjoy a nice burrito, and get a signed copy when I'm out there with them. But I'm great to have the book in my hand, really looking forward to reading it. Now, if you don't know about Ryan Van Duzer, great YouTube channel, Duzer TV is what it's called. Look it up. I'll have a link below if you want to check out some of the videos, but this story is about his 4,000-mile journey from Honduras back to Boulder, Colorado, after spending 2 years in the Peace Corps down in Honduras. Through that travel, he took great notes, and over COVID, about 17 years later, he went ahead and took those notes, all of his experience traveling around the world on bike, and put it all into this book. So get a copy. If you're looking to get a copy, go out to prioritybicycles.com, and if you go underneath accessories and click on the Van Duzer book, there it is, $24.99. Took mine just a few days to get to the house, so pick up a copy. So the next book on my list is called Biking Across America, written by Paul Schultzman. Now, I've read this book at least 15 times, carried it for years as I traveled for work, and it's just a great story about his journey from Washington State all the way down Key West. And in the back here, he says, Paul traversed the 5,000-mile distance between the two farthest points in the continuous United States. Along the way, he encountered nearly every kind of terrain and weather the country had to offer, as well as hundreds of fascinating people who represent the challenges and triumphs of the entire country. So it's a great story. If you've not had an opportunity to read through it, I would recommend going out to Amazon, picking up a copy. It's a great story about his travels, and it's not even a very thick book. So go ahead and pick that up. Now, the third book is one that I've carried for 30 years. It's my favorite musician, and likewise, his books are great. And this one is Jimmy Buffett's Tales of Margaritaville. As you can tell, this one has been worn through. I've carried this since I was 20 years old, back when I took a travel all the way up in the East Coast, living in the back of my truck for about a month and a half as I moved from community college to a full university. The great thing about this book is it really mimics a lot of the songs he has, and you can just look at any single chapter. So it's a group of short stories, so you don't have to read it end to end. You can just pick up, read a few stories, and kind of clear your mind, reduce your stress, or whatever you need to do. But I've got several of the books back here, but this is the one that's my go-to on every travel. It's always around, and as I travel my bike trip from San Diego to St. Augustine, I'll have to really think about if this is worth the weight to be carrying with me, or if I've got to find another thing to keep my mind going when I get done with the day of a ride. So if you haven't seen it, get out there at Amazon, pick up a copy. All right, the final two books we're going to be talking about are from one of the hardest guys in America, Navy SEAL David Goggins. Now, when you read the back, it says David Goggins is a retired Navy SEAL, the only member of the U.S. Armed Forces to complete SEAL training, Armor Ranger School, Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. He's also competed more than 70 ultra-distance races and often placing in the top 5. Former World Guinness record holder for completing 4,030 pull-ups in just a mere 17 hours. His first book, Can't Hurt Me, really just goes through his childhood life all the way up to where he got into the military. It describes the pains and sufferings he went through, and it really takes you down a story where he talks about, here in the back, it says, in Can't Hurt Me, he shares an astonishing life and reveals that most of us tap into just a mere 40% of our capacity. Goggins calls this the 40% rule, and his story illuminates a path that anyone can follow to push past pain, demolish fear, and reach their full potential. So a great first book. The second one just came out December in 2022, called Never Finished. And it's about unshackling your mind and winning the war within. And when you read the back of this one, in the book Never Finished, Goggins takes you inside the mental lab where he developed the philosophy, psychology, and strategies that enable him to learn that what he thought was his limit was only the beginning, and the quest for greatness is unending. Now, like I said, if you're like to hold the book and read through it, these are great books. But I would highly recommend getting these on Audible or getting them in an audio tape book. On Audible, I've listened to both of them, and what they do is they have them set up as more of a blog. So you read a chapter or you listen to a chapter, and at the end of that chapter, David comes on in more of a blog style and gives you more insight. And in the book Never Finished, they have over 3 hours of additional content beyond just what the book has. It's just an incredible insight. It gives you real life stories and even several topics that aren't even covered. So, like I said, David Goggins is a great author. He's an incredible person, been really doing some amazing things. And these books, they're not there for being a self-help book. They're really to get you back to think about yourself and how you can make yourself harder. And I think in my journey, as I travel across the United States, many times in my life I've quit, and this will be the one time I can't. So I'm on a great path, and I'm trying to use some of the tools he's given me. But I would highly recommend either of these books. But like I said, I would check them out on Audible compared to just getting the physical book. All right, so there we have it. 5 of the books that I'm going to be reading this year. Many of them I've read multiple times. I'm really looking forward to getting into The Long Way Home by Ryan Van Duzer. Currently reading the David Goggins Never Finished. Actually, I am listening on Audible, David Goggins books. But any of these are great books to pick up for your library if you've not read them. If you do have them, take the time, take a break, start reading a great book. Hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.